Want to learn your target language for free? Then get our language gifts of the month right now, before they expire. Here's what you're getting this month. First, the Making Movies Conversation Cheat Sheet. With this new cheat sheet, you'll learn words like actor, screenwriter, director, and much more. Download it for free on the inside. Second, the 400 Everyday Phrases for Beginners ebook. This bonus ebook will teach you over 400 words and phrases related to daily activities like waking up, making breakfast, going to work or school, and more. Third, can you talk about fishing in your target language? Learn how to say words like fishing rod, bait, and fishing net with this quick vocab bonus. Fourth, must-know online shopping vocabulary. If you like shopping, then you'll want to be able to talk about it in your target language. With this 1-minute lesson, you'll learn must-know words like sale, add to cart, and much more. Fifth, free language learning audiobooks for anyone who sees this video. If you watch this far, then here's a free bonus. We're giving all of our users free access to our huge library of language learning audiobooks. Save them to your device and listen and learn. They're yours to keep forever. And finally, the deal of the month. If you want to finally master the language with lessons by real teachers and our complete language learning program, get 51% off all basic, premium, and premium plus plans with our special Black Friday deal. To get your gifts and language learning resources, click the link in the lesson description below. Download them right now before they expire.
Welcome to Can Do Japanese by JapanesePod101.com.
皆さんこんにちは、加納かなです。Hi everyone, I'm Kana Kano. In this lesson, you learn how to ask what a word is in Japanese.
This is Ben Lee, and he's at a cafe doing a language exchange with his classmate, Hana Hashimoto. It's the Japanese portion of the exchange, and he points at the textbook and asks, "How do you say textbook in Japanese?"
テキストブックは日本語で何と言いますか？
Listen to the conversation and focus on the question. Ready?
テキストブックは日本語で何と言いますか？
教科書です。
Once more with the English translation.
テキストブックは日本語で何と言いますか？
How do you say textbook in Japanese?
教科書です。
It's textbook.
Let's take a closer look at the conversation.
Do you remember how Ben asks, "How do you say textbook in Japanese?"
テキストブックは日本語で何と言いますか？
First is the English word textbook. Next is
は、
the topic marking particle.
は、は、
Here
は、
marks textbook as the topic of the sentence. Think of it as for, like in as for the textbook. After this is
日本語、
Japanese, as in the Japanese language.
に、ほ、ん、ご、日本語、
Next is the particle
で、
which marks the thing you use to do something.
で、で、
In this sentence,
で、
marks
日本語、
Japanese as the language used to speak. Together,
日本語で、
translates as in Japanese.
日本語で、
Note, when the context is clear, you may omit.
日本語で、
Next is the phrase,
何と言いますか？
how do you say?
何と言いますか？
First is,
何と言います。
how do you say?
何と言います。
At this point in your language learning journey, remember this as a set phrase. Last is the particle
か、
the question marking particle.
か、か、
This particle turns the sentence into a question. Together,
何と言いますか
how do you say,
何と言いますか
altogether,
textbook は日本語で何と言いますか
literally means, as for textbook, in Japanese, how do you say? But translates as, how do you say textbook in Japanese?
テキストブックは日本語で何と言いますか
In many cases, you can omit
日本語で
from the question pattern. Since you're asking the question in Japanese, and it's about an English word, it's understood that you're asking for the Japanese word. The simplified variation to ask about the Japanese word for textbook is,
textbook は何と言いますか
you should be aware of this shortcut. But for this lesson, we'll use the full sentence pattern.
textbook は日本語で何と言いますか Let's take a closer look at the response.
Do you remember how Hana says, it's textbook?
教科書です。
First is
教科書
textbook.
教科書教科書
After this is,
です
in this case, it's like the is in it is. It's a linking verb.
ですです
Together,
教科書です
literally means, textbook it is. But it translates as, it's textbook.
教科書です。
教科書です
Is the shortened version of the sentence,
textbook は教科書です
the first part,
textbook は
meaning as for textbook, is omitted since the context is clear, as Hana is responding to a question about the textbook.
教科書です。
The pattern is,
English word は日本語で何と言いますか
how do you say English word in Japanese?
English word は日本語で何と言いますか
To use this question pattern, simply replace the English word placeholder with the word you want to know. Imagine you want to know the Japanese word for pen. Ask, how do you say pen in Japanese? Ready?
ペンは日本語で何と言いますか
How do you say pen in Japanese?
ペンは日本語で何と言いますか
If you want to keep the conversation completely in Japanese, you can say, how do you say this in Japanese? Simply replace the English word with
これ
this.
これこれ
これは日本語で何と言いますか
How do you say this in Japanese? If the thing is far away from you, you can use
それ
that.
それ
それは日本語で何と言いますか
How do you say that in Japanese? Again, this is a very useful pattern for using Japanese to learn Japanese. Keeping the conversation in Japanese as long as possible is a great tactic to learn a language. These questions will help with that. Let's look at some more examples. Listen and repeat, or speak along with the native speakers.
テキストブックは日本語で何と言いますか
教科書です。
テキストブックは日本語で何と言いますか ペンは日本語で何と言いますか？
ペンです。
ペンは日本語で何と言いますか？
これは日本語で何と言いますか？
箸です。
これは日本語で何と言いますか？それは日本語で何と言いますか？
鉛筆です。
それは日本語で何と言いますか？
これは日本語で何ですか？
教科書です。
これは日本語で何ですか？ Did you notice how I used a different pattern? これは日本語で何ですか？
What's this in Japanese? Instead of,
何と言いますか？
how do you say?
何と言いますか？
This pattern uses the phrase,
何ですか？
what is?
何ですか？
Let's take a closer look at.
何ですか？
First is,
何、
what?
な、ん、何
After this is,
です。
in this case, it's like the is in what is.
で、す。です。
Last is,
か、
the question marking particle.
か。
Altogether,
何ですか？
what is?
何ですか？何ですか？
is easier to say and perfectly acceptable to use. However,
何と言いますか？
is more natural. Altogether,
これは日本語で何ですか？
you should be aware of this shortcut, but for this lesson, we'll use the full sentence pattern.
English word は日本語で何と言いますか？
How do you say English word in Japanese? Let's review the key vocabulary.
ペン、
Pen,
ペン、ペン。箸、
chopsticks,
は、し、箸。鉛筆、
pencil,
え、ん、ぴ、つ。鉛筆。これ、
this,
これ、これ。それ、
that,
それ、それ。Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say the question marking particle? か、か。And how to say Japanese, as in the language. 日本語、日本語。Do you remember how to say in Japanese? 日本語で、日本語で。And how to say the topic marking particle. は、は。Do you remember how Ben says, "How do you say textbook in Japanese?"
テキストブックは日本語で何と言いますか？
textbook は日本語で何と言いますか？ Do you remember how to say textbook? 教科書教科書 Do you remember how Hannah says it's textbook?
教科書です。
教科書です。Do you remember how to say this? これこれ
Let's practice. Imagine you're Karen Lee, and you're having a language exchange lunch with Ai Nakamura. Ask, how do you say chopsticks in Japanese? Ready?
チョップスティックスは日本語で何と言いますか？
箸です。
Listen again and repeat.
チョップスティックスは日本語で何と言いますか？チョップスティックスは日本語で何と言いますか？
Now you want to know the word for pen. Ready?
ペンは日本語で何と言いますか？
ペンです。
Listen again and repeat.
ペンは日本語で何と言いますか？ペンは日本語で何と言いますか？
Let's try one more. Imagine you're Sasha Lee, and you're studying with a classmate. Point at a nearby pencil and ask how to say this in Japanese. Ready?
これは日本語で何と言いますか？鉛筆です。
Listen again and repeat.
これは日本語で何と言いますか？これは日本語で何と言いますか？
This is the end of this lesson.
Remember, these can-do lessons are about learning practical language skills. What's next? Show us what you can do. When you're ready, take your assessment. You can take it again and again, so try anytime you like. Our teachers will assess it and give you your results.
Now you know how to ask how you say something in Japanese. That's all there is to it. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson. This is the end of this lesson.
Now, here's what you can do to cement this conversation in your head. Review the conversation with our dialogue tool and lesson transcripts. Study the key words and phrases with our spaced repetition flashcards. Review the key grammar and cultural tips inside the lesson notes. And test yourself with our assessment tests. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to access our Can-Do course.
Now you know how to ask how you say something in Japanese. That's all there is to it. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson. In this video, you learn 20 of the most common words and phrases in Japanese. Hi everybody, my name is Risa. Welcome to the 800 Core Japanese Words and Phrases video series. This series will teach you the 800 most common words and phrases in Japanese. But there's a twist. With each new lessons in this series, we'll include the previous lessons at the end. So after you've learned the new words and phrases, stick around and review what you learned in previous lessons. Reviewing is one of the most important part of learning a language. You can also get the full list right now at JapanesePod101.com. Click the link in the description to access more example sentences, create your own flashcard deck, and finally master Japanese. Okay, let's get started. First is レストラン restaurant レストランレストラン restaurant 女性たちがレストランで食事をしている。The women are eating out at a restaurant. 女性たちがレストランで食事をしている。カフェ、カフェ、カフェ、カフェ、カフェ。一番近いカフェはどこですか？ Where is the closest cafe? 一番近いカフェはどこですか？コーヒーショップ、コーヒーショップ、コーヒーショップ、コーヒーショップ、コーヒーショップ。友達がコーヒーショップで集まっている。The friends are hanging out at a coffee shop. 友達がコーヒーショップで集まっている。バー、バー、バー、バー、バー。金曜の夜、私たちは街のバーに行く。Friday night, we'll go to a bar in the city. 金曜の夜、私たちは街のバーに行く。家具、フォニチャー。家具、家具、フォニチャー。火事の後、私たちは家具をすべて買い替えなくてはいけなかった。We had to replace all of our furniture after the fire. 火事の後、私たちは家具をすべて買い替えなくてはいけなかった。芝生 grass 芝生芝生 grass 狐たちが芝生の上で遊んでいる。The foxes are playing in the grass. 狐たちが芝生の上で遊んでいる。土 soil 土土 soil 植物は土から水分を取る。Plants takes in water from the soil. 植物は土から水分を取る。泥 dirt 泥泥 dirt 赤ちゃんゾウが動物園で泥遊びをしている。The baby elephant is playing with dirt in a zoo. 赤ちゃんゾウが動物園で泥遊びをしている。石 rock 石石 rock ローブを着た男性が石を投げている。The man in the robe is throwing a rock. ローブを着た男性が石を投げている。 tree 木 tree 私たちは毎年裏庭のリンゴの木になる実を食べている。We eat fruits every year from the apple tree in my backyard. 私たちは毎年裏庭のリンゴの木になる実を食べている。道教 Taoism 道教 Taoism 道教はダオイズムとしても知られている。Taoism is also known as Taoism. 道教はダオイズムとしても知られている。聖書 Bible 聖書 Bible 文明史上ベストセラーの本は聖書だ。The Bible is the best-selling book in the history of civilization. 文明史上ベストセラーの本は聖書だ。コーラン Quran コーラン Quran コーランはイスラム教の経典だ。The Quran is the holy book of the Muslim religion. コーランはイスラム教の経典だ。司祭 priest 司祭 priest 彼は司祭から助言を受けた。He got advice from a priest. 彼は司祭から助言を受けた。ユダヤ教 Judaism ユダヤ教 Judaism ユダヤ教は3000年以上も信仰されてきた。Judaism has been practiced for over 3,000 years. ユダヤ教は3000年以上も信仰されてきた。1000 1000 1000 1000 財布に1000円しかありません。There is only 1,000 yen in my wallet. 財布に1000円しかありません。2000 2000 2000 2000 2000それは2000ドルします。It cost $2,000. それは2000ドルします。8000 8000 8000 8000 8000その村には8000人の人が住んでいる。8,000 people live in that village. その村には8000人の人が住んでいる。1万 10,000 1万1万 10,000 1万の兵が戦場に派遣されました。10,000 soldiers were dispatched to the site of the battle. 1万の兵が戦場に派遣されました。4000 4,000 4000 4000 4,000その競技場は4000平方メートルあります。The stadium is 4,000 square meters. その競技場は4000平方メートルあります。Well done! In this lesson, you expanded your vocabulary and learned 20 new useful words. click the link in the description and sign up for free at JapanesePod101.com to get access to the full list of vocabulary you need for daily life conversations. You'll also get example sentences, custom flashcard decks, and more learning resources. See you next time! またね! In this video, you learn 20 of the most common words and phrases in Japanese. Hi everybody, my name is Risa. Welcome to the 800 Core Japanese Words and Phrases video series. This series will teach you the 800 most common words and phrases in Japanese. But there's a twist. With each new lesson in this series, we'll include the previous lessons at the end. So after you've learned the new words and phrases, stick around and review what you learned in previous lessons. Reviewing is one of the most important part of learning a language. You can also get the full list right now at JapanesePod101.com. Click the link in the description to access more example sentences, create your own flashcard deck, and finally master Japanese. Okay, let's get started. First is 大家 landlord 大家 大家 landlord 私の兄弟の大家は小切手は受け付けないだろう。My brother's landlord will not accept a check. 私の兄弟の大家は小切手は受け付けないだろう。寮 dormitory 寮寮 dormitory その大学生は寮に住んだ。The college student lived in a dormitory. その大学生は寮に住んだ。アパート apartment building アパートアパート apartment building このアパートには24部屋あります。There are 24 apartments in this apartment building. このアパートには24部屋あります。町 city 町町 city 町が霧で覆われている。The city is covered in fog. 町が霧で覆われている。農場 farm 農場農場 farm ヤギたちが農場で遊んでいる。The goats are playing on the farm. ヤギたちが農場で遊んでいる。津波津波津波津波津波津波が町を襲った。The tsunami hit the city. 津波が町を襲った。なだれ avalanche なだれなだれ avalanche なだれがスキーリゾートを破壊したが、幸運なことに誰も怪我人はいなかった。The avalanche destroyed the ski resort, but luckily nobody was hurt. なだれがスキーリゾートを破壊したが、幸運なことに誰も怪我人はいなかった。火事 fire 火事火事 fire 消防士たちがはしごに登って火事と格闘している。The firefighters are fighting the fire on the ladder. 消防士たちがはしごに登って火事と格闘している。地震 earthquake 地震地震 earthquake 地震で地面が揺れている。 The earthquake is shaking the ground. 地震で地面が揺れている。砂嵐 Sandstorm 砂嵐砂嵐 Sandstorm 砂嵐がやってきた。The sandstorm has touched down. 砂嵐がやってきた。手袋 glove 手袋手袋 glove その手袋は彼の手に合わなかった。The gloves did not fit his hands. その手袋は彼の手に合わなかった。傘 umbrella 傘傘 umbrella 雨が降っているけど傘を持っていない。I don't have an umbrella and it's raining. 雨が降っているけど傘を持っていない。帽子 hat 帽子帽子 hat その帽子には赤いスカーフが似合いそうだ。A red scarf would look nice with that hat. その帽子には赤いスカーフが似合いそうだ。長袖 long sleeved 長袖長袖 long sleeved 寒い日には長袖のシャツがいい。Long sleeved shirts are good for cold weather. 寒い日には長袖のシャツがいい。半袖 short sleeved 半袖半袖 short sleeved 暖かい日は半袖シャツの方がいい。Short sleeved shirts are better when it is warm. 暖かい日は半袖シャツの方がいい。痛い painful 痛い痛い painful クラゲに刺されるととても痛い。A jellyfish sting is very painful. クラゲに刺されるととても痛い。恥ずかしがる shy 恥ずかしがる恥ずかしがる shy 恥ずかしがらないで Don't be shy 恥ずかしがらないで緊張する nervous 緊張する緊張する nervous 人前に出ると緊張する I'm so nervous in front of people 人前に出ると緊張する興奮する excited 興奮する興奮する excited 大好きな人のライブを見に行くのは興奮する。I get excited to go to the concert of my favorite singer. 大好きな人のライブを見に行くのは興奮する。恥ずかしい。embarrassed 恥ずかしい。恥ずかしい。embarrassed恥ずかしいと顔が赤くなります。My face turns red when I am embarrassed. 恥ずかしいと顔が赤くなります。Well done! In this lesson, you expanded your vocabulary and learned 20 new useful words. Click the link in the description and sign up for free at JapanesePod101.com.to get access to the full list of vocabulary you need for daily life conversations. You'll also get example sentences, custom flashcard decks, and more learning resources. See you next time! またね! In this video, you learn 20 of the most common words and phrases in Japanese. Hi everybody, my name is Risa. Welcome to the 800 Core Japanese Words and Phrases video series. This series will teach you the 800 most common words and phrases in Japanese. But there's a twist. With each new lessons in this series, we'll include the previous lessons at the end. So after you've learned the new words and phrases, stick around and review what you learned in previous lessons. Reviewing is one of the most important part of learning a language. You can also get the full list right now at JapanesePod101.com. Click the link in the description to access more example sentences, create your own flashcard deck, and finally master Japanese. Okay, let's get started. First is 田舎 country 田舎田舎 country 彼らは田舎に大きな家がある。They have a big house in the country. 彼らは田舎に大きな家がある。村 village 村 village 私は小さな村で育ちました。I grew up in a small village. 私は小さな村で育ちました。町 town 町 town ちょっと街を散策したい。I want to go for a walk in town. ちょっと街を散策したい。郊外 suburb 郊外 suburb 去年郊外に引っ越しました。I moved to the suburb last year. 去年郊外に引っ越しました。部屋 room 部屋 room ボーイが私たちの荷物を部屋まで運んでくれた。A porter carried our bags to our room. ボーイが私たちの荷物を部屋まで運んでくれた。やけど burn やけど burn 彼女は左手に熱湯を浴び、第2度のやけどを負った。She spilled boiling water on her left hand and has a second-degree burn. 彼女は左手に熱湯を浴び、第2度のやけどを負った。chess 私は辛抱強い人間ではないので、スピードチェスの方が好きだ。I'm not a patient person, so I prefer speed chess. 私は辛抱強い人間ではないので、スピードチェスの方が好きだ。言語 language 言語 language 言語学は自然言語の分野です。Linguistics is the study of natural language. 言語学は自然言語の分野です。ブローする blow dry ブローする blow dry 毎朝髪をブローする。I blow dry my hair every morning. 毎朝髪をブローする。武術 martial arts 武術 martial arts 私たちの武術の師範は25年も修行を積んできた。Our martial arts instructor has practiced for 25 years. 私たちの武術の師範は25年も修行を積んできた。満足した。satisfied 満足した。満足した。satisfied 私はその結果に満足している。I'm satisfied with the result. 私はその結果に満足している。落ち着いた。calm 落ち着いた。落ち着いた。calm 落ち着いた話し方をする人。person who has a calm way of speaking. 落ち着いた話し方をする人。溶かす。calm 溶かす。溶かす。calm 私は毎日犬の毛を溶かす。I comb my dog every day. 私は毎日犬の毛を溶かす。うがいをする。gargle うがいをする。うがいをする。gargle 私は一日に何度かうがいをする。I gargle several times a day. 私は一日に何度かうがいをする。不満。dissatisfied。不満。不満。dissatisfied。その男の人はその製品に不満だ。The man is dissatisfied with the product. その男の人はその製品に不満だ。5000 5,000 5000 5000 5,000 5000人の人々が広場に集まって抗議した。5,000 people were protesting on the square. 5000人の人々が広場に集まって抗議した。3000 3,000 3000 3000 3,000ペルーには3000種以上のジャガイモが存在する。In Peru, more than 3,000 types of potatoes exist. ペルーには3000種以上のジャガイモが存在する。6000 6,000 6000 6000 6,000ギリシャには約6000の島がある。There are around 6,000 islands in Greece. ギリシャには約6000の島がある。7000 7,000 7000 7000 7,000彼女はアルバムを7000枚売った。She sold 7,000 albums. 彼女はアルバムを7000枚売った。9000 9,000 9000 9000 9,000 9000の軍隊がその国から撤退した。9,000 troops withdrew from the country. 9000の軍隊がその国から撤退した。Well done! In this lesson, you expanded your vocabulary and learned 20 new useful words. Click the link in the description and sign up for free at JapanesePod101.com to get access to the full list of vocabulary you need for daily life conversations. You'll also get example sentences, custom flashcard decks, and more learning resources. See you next time! またね! In this video, you learn 20 of the most common words and phrases in Japanese. Hi everybody, my name is Risa. Welcome to the 800 Core Japanese Words and Phrases video series. This series will teach you the 800 most common words and phrases in Japanese. But there's a twist. With each new lessons in this series, we'll include the previous lessons at the end. So after you've learned the new words and phrases, stick around and review what you learned in previous lessons. Reviewing is one of the most important part of learning a language. You can also get the full list right now at JapanesePod101.com. Click the link in the description to access more example sentences, create your own flashcard deck, and finally master Japanese. Okay, let's get started. First is バラ rose バラバラ rose 赤いバラはとてもロマンチックだ。A red rose is very romantic. 赤いバラはとてもロマンチックだ。花flower 花花 flower その少年は黄色い花を摘んでいる。The boy is picking yellow flowers. その少年は黄色い花を摘んでいる。ユリ lily ユリユリ lily ユリには100以上の種類がある。There are more than 100 species of lilies. ユリには100以上の種類がある。ひまわり sunflower ひまわりひまわり sunflower 夏といえばひまわりだ。When I think of summer, I think sunflowers. 夏といえばひまわりだ。タンポポ dandelion タンポポタンポポ dandelion タンポポは雑草とみなされている。Dandelions are considered weeds. タンポポは雑草とみなされている。旅行 traveling 旅行旅行 traveling その男性の趣味は旅行です。The man's hobby is traveling. その男性の趣味は旅行です。運動 exercising 運動運動 exercising その女の人は床の上で運動している。The woman is exercising on the floor. その女の人は床の上で運動している。トレーニング workout トレーニングトレーニング workout 毎日30分のトレーニングは健康を向上させる。A 30 minutes workout every day can improve your health. 毎日30分のトレーニングは健康を向上させる。読書 reading 読書、読書、reading。彼女は読書が好きです。She likes reading books. 彼女は読書が好きです。トランプ、playing cards。トランプ、トランプ、playing cards。その男はトランプをしている。The man is playing cards. その男はトランプをしている。イヤリング、イヤリング、イヤリング、イヤリング、イヤリング。このイヤリングは綺麗です。These earrings are beautiful. このイヤリングは綺麗です。ネックレス、ネックレス、ネックレス、ネックレス、ネックレス。あなたがつけているネックレスには美しい宝石がついている。The necklace you're wearing has beautiful gems. あなたがつけているネックレスには美しい宝石がついている。指輪、ring、指輪、指輪、ring。私たちは結婚指輪をその宝石店で買いました。We bought our wedding rings at the jewelry store. 私たちは結婚指輪をその宝石店で買いました。ボクサーパンツ、ボクサーショーツ、ボクサーパンツ、ボクサーパンツ、ボクサーショーツ。ボクサーパンツはいろいろな柄や素材がある男性用の下着です。Boxer shorts are an undergarment for men which comes in many patterns and fabrics. ボクサーパンツはいろいろな柄や素材がある男性用の下着です。スカート、スカート、スカート、スカート、スカート。彼女は黄色のスカートを履いている。She is wearing a yellow skirt. 彼女は黄色のスカートを履いている。ハンバーガー、ハンバーガー、ハンバーガー、ハンバーガー、ハンバーガー。ハンバーガーはアメリカで生まれた。Hamburgers were invented in America. ハンバーガーはアメリカで生まれた。チーズバーガー、チーズバーガー、チーズバーガー、チーズバーガー、チーズバーガー。チーズバーガーはスライスチーズが入ったハンバーガーです。A cheeseburger is a hamburger with a slice of cheese. チーズバーガーはスライスチーズが入ったハンバーガーです。ピザ、ピッツァ、ピザ、ピザ、ピッツァ。ピザはイタリアの料理だが、世界中でとても人気がある。Pizza is an Italian dish, but it is a popular dish around the world. ピザはイタリアの料理だが、世界中でとても人気がある。 ホットドッグ hot dog ホットドッグホットドッグ hot dog ホットドッグは塩分と脂肪分が高く、保存量も多く含まれている。Hot dogs are high in salt and fat and contain preservatives. ホットドッグは塩分と脂肪分が高く、保存量も多く含まれている。チップ tip チップチップ tip メイドさんのためにチップを枕に置いておいた。I left the tip for the maid on the pillow. メイドさんのためにチップを枕に置いておいた。Well done! In this lesson, you expanded your vocabulary and learned 20 new useful words. Click the link in the description and sign up for free at JapanesePod101.com to get access to the full list of vocabulary you need for daily life conversations. You'll also get example sentences, custom flashcard decks, and more learning resources. See you next time! またね!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is how to boost your motivation and learn more by adding others to the mix. If you're learning a language all by yourself, then you should know that there's a way to boost your chance of success, boost your motivation, your progress. It's simply by including other people in your language learning journey. And in today's episode, you'll discover 1. How adding a human dynamic boosts your motivation, and 2. How you can apply this tactic to your language learning. But first, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Making Movies Conversation Cheat Sheet. With this new cheat sheet, you'll learn words like actor, screenwriter, director, and much more. Download it for free on the inside. Second, the 400 Everyday Phrases for Beginners ebook. This bonus ebook will teach you over 400 words and phrases related to daily activities like waking up, making breakfast, going to work or school, and more. Third, can you talk about fishing in your target language? Learn how to say words like fishing rod, bait, and fishing net with this quick vocab bonus. Fourth, must know online shopping vocabulary. If you like shopping, then you'll want to be able to talk about it in your target language. With this 1-minute lesson, you'll learn must-know words like sale, add to cart, and much more. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. How to boost your motivation and learn more by adding others to the mix. Part 1. How adding a human dynamic boosts your motivation. So first, here's a question for you. How do you think most people start learning a language? Leave a comment. Most people start learning by themselves. They'll either watch YouTube videos like this, download an app, or if they're a little more serious, buy a textbook. But after the first week or month, most self-learners also end up falling off because of a lack of motivation. It's pretty hard to motivate yourself and keep yourself going. It's hard because you have to, 1. Rely on yourself to motivate yourself, 2. Do the learning, and 3. Do the practice. All of this is a lot of work for one person. Sure, there's a small group of super self-motivated people out there that can do it and stick with it, but that's not the case for most of us. So then, if you want to boost your motivation and not have to rely on yourself, that's where you should start getting other people involved in your language learning journey. Just picture a graph where on the y-axis you have motivation, and on the x-axis you have the chance of success. So first you have self-study, and that's probably closest to lower motivation and probably a low chance of succeeding. As you move further to the right, where you start involving tutors or joining group classes, the higher your motivation and chance of success becomes. Does this mean motivation is lowest when you're on your own? Yes and no. There are people who are very motivated on their own, but motivation tends to come and go for many of us. And the last thing you want to do is rely on a feeling that may not always be there. But when you start including more personal connections, live interactions, maybe someone you speak with at a cafe, you have more reasons and more pressure to keep on going. For example, if you have a tutor that expects you to do homework and come prepared next time, if you have a language partner whom you want to impress, or if you're in a language class, you want to be better than other students. The point is, the more people you involve, the more anchor points and commitments you have to the language, and these boost your motivation. In psychology, this is called social facilitation, or the audience effect. When you're with other people, or when you think someone is watching you, you put a little pressure on yourself. And for many people, this can have a positive result. But if you're on your own, you wouldn't try so hard. So just to recap, a lot of us start learning on our own. And in the case of language learning, there will always be self-study involved. But if you want to take it to the next level, then you should follow that graph. The only issue is, the more you go up that graph, the more expensive it gets. It's very affordable to learn on your own. Once you start involving others, such as a teacher, it starts getting expensive. So it's up to you as the learner here. So, if you're interested in adding a human dynamic, what can you do? Part 2. How you can apply this to your language learning. 1. Give our Premium Plus plan a try and get access to your own teacher. You also get weekly assignments from your teacher, which adds a nice layer of accountability to your learning. 2. Enroll in an online class. And this is something we've started offering for a few of our major languages: Japanese, English, Chinese, Italian, Korean, French, and Spanish. 3. Get an online or in-person tutor. Now, teachers and classes can be pricey, but there are other ways to learn with others. 4. Get a study buddy or join a learning community. Learning and competing with others will definitely have a positive impact on your motivation and language progress. 5. Simply talk with others about your language goals and your current progress. When you're surrounded by people talking about how much they've learned or what goals they hit or missed, you'll be more inspired to hit your own goals. 6. Track your progress and share it on your social media for others to see. For example, if you keep a daily planner, write in, "I did 3 lessons today," or "spent 30 minutes on learning a language," and share that. Once you start involving more people in your language journey, whether for learning or for practice, adding that extra human element will boost your productivity and motivation and help you reach your language goals. So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about how to learn a new language in the new year. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye! Since you're learning the language and coming across new words all the time, do you have trouble remembering new words? If you do, then there's a proven and powerful learning method that'll help you learn new words and phrases fast. Easily remember the tough words you struggle with and get you fluent sooner than later. In fact, all serious language learners use this learning method in one form or another. And the good news is, you can do this all with our flashcards inside of our learning program. But first, if you don't yet have access to our language learning program, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. Now, how do flashcards help you learn words and phrases faster? These flashcards use something called spaced repetition learning, which is a science-backed learning method that spaces out your learning over time and quizzes you on words at the right times so that you never forget them. Here's how the flashcards work. Once you start learning, they start tracking your progress and sort your cards for you. So the tough words that you struggle with, you'll see them more often in a study session. And the easy words that you get right, they'll start getting spaced out. You'll see them again in 2 days, then 5 days, then 13 days, and so on. At which point, these words will start going into your long-term memory, and you'll never forget them. Once you're done with a study session, that's it for the day. Your flashcards will remind you when to study again, so you never forget what you learned last time. So here's how you take advantage of this powerful study tool. Simply access flashcards in the vocabulary drop-down menu on the site. Inside, you already have the 100 must-know words deck prepared for you. Just click on Study and Start Session to start learning. You'll see a flashcard with the word in the target language. Do you know the meaning? Click on Show Answer to confirm the meaning. Then, mark it as correct or incorrect. Based on your answer, the flashcards will start sorting and spacing out the words for you. Then, move on to the next card in the deck until you're done with the session. You can study with 3 modes. Recognition. Get the word in the target language and see if you know the meaning. Production. Get the meaning and see if you know it in the target language. Or listening. Hear the word or phrase and see if you know the meaning. Choose 1, 2, or all 3 modes of learning. You can create flashcard decks from key phrases presented in lessons, the 2000 core word list, words saved in your word bank, and our free vocab lists. Want to see how many words and phrases you've mastered? Visit My Stats for your daily, weekly, and monthly progress breakdown to see your personal study stats. So take advantage of the smart flashcards right now. The top 100 must-know words deck is already ready and waiting for you. But if you don't yet have access, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. If you want to learn your target language with our learning program, and if you're wondering which plan to choose, then today you'll discover how our premium plan helps you master the language with one clear learning pathway to follow, which makes sticking with learning easier than ever. Special lessons that get you speaking and understanding conversations in minutes from beginner to advanced, and over 15 study tools that will lock the language into your brain. But first, if you don't have access to our language learning program, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. Now, how does the premium plan help you learn a language faster? 1. You get one simple learning pathway of lessons to follow. If you've always felt that language learning is overwhelming because there's so much to do, reading, writing, speaking, listening, and vocabulary, and there's no clear path to take, well, you're not wrong. So that's exactly why you get one learning pathway with our program. The learning pathway is simply a pathway of lessons for you to take. Meaning you now have a clear path to follow, instead of wondering about how you should learn the language or what to do next. Just follow the pathway, take the lessons, and complete the assessments from Lesson 1 to 2 to 3, and from the absolute beginner level up to advanced. Now, let's talk about the lessons themselves. Second, you'll learn the language fast with audio and video lessons, which means you won't be reading walls of text here. Our audio and video lessons are easy to finish and allow you to absorb the language as you listen or watch. Plus, you get exposed to native speech, something you won't get in textbooks. So press play on a lesson. You'll learn a practical conversation, get every word and grammar rule explained by our teachers, and start speaking in minutes. All of this takes minutes because lessons are just a few minutes long, so you can learn fast and in small blocks of time, whether on your computer or with our app if you're on the go. The lessons alone are enough to get you speaking, but to make sure you practice and retain the language, you can use our study tools. Third, you get 15 plus premium study tools that lock the language into your memory and help you learn faster. Here's a small taste of what you can do. You can practice speaking and perfect your pronunciation with the voice recorder. Reach conversational fluency with our 2000 most common words list. Master words and phrases fast with our spaced repetition flashcards. Read along with the lesson notes to help the grammar rules sink in faster. Understand everything instantly with the translations. Sharpen your listening skills with the line-by-line audio for each lesson. Immerse yourself in native conversations with the dialogue tracks. Test yourself on what you've learned with assessments, and much more. So if you want to learn your target language, and if you don't have access to our learning program, then sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account, and you'll get a free 7-day trial to our premium plan.